one up is Goal 300. Goal 300 is a climate tech company using volcanic rock dust to speed up natural carbon removal. Focused in the Pacific Northwest, their method cuts farm costs, boosts yields, and generates revenue through verified carbon credits. Joining us tonight is founder and designer Zach Price, geologist and founder of Goal 300. He brings deep expertise in earth science and a passion for scalable climate solutions. Backed by Cascade Climate and Organic Valley, his team includes leaders in geochemistry, carbon markets, and tech innovation. Welcome to the stage, Zach. Take it away.
Thank you so much. All right, that's great. All right, my notes here, everybody. Hey, well, can we give a big woot woot to Peter and Russell? Those were killer pitches. Oh, I got to use the mic. That's right. Yeah, and a big thanks to Worthy Brewing, to EDCO for growing the economy here in Bend, because we all want to live here, and all of the fellow entrepreneurs and the doers and dreamers out there. So thank you to all of you. All right. I was lucky enough in my life to have an amazing grandmother. She was a force of nature. She went to the 1936 Olympics. She graduated from Purdue as the second woman in engineering from Purdue. When she was married, she was engaged to be married, and when Pearl Harbor happened, she decided to get on a train the next day from Florida, go to California, and take a plane to Hawaii to volunteer. She traveled to over 110 countries. She was an amazing artist, an amazing scuba diver, and I'll get into scuba diving around the world. And she went scuba diving around the world, and she was really an influence in my life. And she said every day, she'd say, Zach, if you want a good life, have a character building experience every day. And this is my character building experience. And so this talk's dedicated to you. All right, I'm Zach Price. I've lived in Bend with my family for 6 years. I have a background in geology and tech, nonprofit, a lot of product management and product operations work. I'm a little neurodivergent too, so if you talk with me, I'm sure you'll figure that out. But anyway, I have a company that we've been working on since last March, and actually the ideation is before. It's Goal 300, and we are waste management for the skies. Let me get this. And who here likes to ski? Does anybody here like to ski? Okay. So let's go back. Let's see, how do we do this? There we go. All right, according to the Deschutes Land Trust, if climate change continues unabated, the Central Oregon Cascades will be a rain basin by 2080. Since 1980, snowfall levels are down, depending on where the sensors are, in the Central Cascades, 19 to 25%. So what was a great snow year like this year was just an average snow year back in the day. And so we are dumping CO2 into our atmosphere at ever-increasing levels, about 40 billion tons a year, and they're the highest in 800,000 years. Humans evolved under this regime of 300 parts per million. Thus, the name of my company, Goal 300, is to get back there, so to clean up all the waste we've put in since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. So there's a lot of things we can do. There's this thing called net zero, where we are slowly working to decarbonize our society. This is something that we need to do. Otherwise, we're going to have the worst climate catastrophes. Good example, people may not know this. The average high tide outside of Houston since 1980 has gone up by 8.4 inches. So we're going to have to be spending tens, if not hundreds of trillions of dollars in our children's lifetimes and our grandchildren's lifetimes to mitigate something that we can handle for hundreds of billions of dollars today. The UN has recognized this. Even if we were to decarbonize tomorrow, our society, we're still going to see increased heating for decades. And even if we're getting off oil, oil is something, I worked in the petroleum industry. So we need this for our modern day life, and there are hard to abate sectors like aviation and shipping. And so to abate those sectors, we need to remove 15 billion tons a year of carbon by 2050. This is Many organizations, the UN IPCC calls this out. And last year we removed less than 1 million tons of carbon dioxide. That means we have to scale this industry faster than the telecommunications industry, faster than the tech industry. It has to be the fastest scaling industry ever in the history of humanity if we're going to make this work and meet that goal of removing 15 billion tons a year. So how's climate change impacting Central Oregon? I talked to you about the snow, but also our wildfire days. The number of wildfire days are getting worse and worse. And our solution to this is we are one spoke in a wheel of carbon dioxide removal solutions and climate tech solutions. And basically what we're doing is that we accelerate the geologic carbon cycle. So right now, every time it snows or rains on volcanic rocks, that acidic water that is in rainwater is mixing with alkaline rock, and a chemical reaction happens where bicarbonates are produced. And those bicarbonates get washed into the ocean basins where they're stored away for thousands of years. And so we're taking a cycle that normally takes a long time, and we're accelerating it down to a few years. And so this is already being done on over 20,000 acres worldwide, and it's growing every year in a lot of countries. So we spread this volcanic rock on fields, which is we get this from Washington State. We have an agreement with the only active olivine mine in North America. And then we measure it moving down through the soil column and to the oceans. And this is the really difficult part. That's 95% of the work. So the great thing about this is that it's permanent and it can scale to about 2 billion tons a year. And it has a lot of agriculture and community co-benefits. So let's go back here. Hold on 1 second. I get too excited with the clicker. Oh, the bottom one. All right, there we go. So in field data, we're already seeing, and across the world, we're seeing great crop yield increases, and that the farmers we're working with, they spend about $135 an acre per year on liming, and we can offset most, if not all, of those costs. We're also seeing improved soil health across our plots and elsewhere. So what do? We spend a lot of time selecting the sites. We sample them to make sure that what we're seeing at a gross level from high-level soil maps and geologic maps and hydrologic maps will work. And then if they do work in the lab, we then partner with that local landowner for a long-term contract. We spread the rock, and then we analyze, and then we prove it using world-accepted leading protocols, and those are quite extensive. They're like an ISO standard. So we can prove that, and then we sell those carbon credits to large buyers, to large voluntary buyers, and eventually regulatory buyers. Right now, there's 6.5, as of earlier this year, there's $6.5 billion in carbon removal purchases that were made. On the right there, you can see some of the largest companies in the voluntary market. So you've got Microsoft, Google, JP Morgan Chase, Airbus, and a number of others. And this is growing every year. But in the United States, right now, we're in the valley of tears in this industry. So it is expected that 85% of the climate tech businesses will likely go out of business in the next couple of years. And this is because of total policy pullbacks in the United States and also massive cuts to grants and science funding. But this is an opportunity to buy at the bottom. Like my company, I always say to people, we're going to be the cockroaches that survive, and we're going to thrive. And so we are lean, and we are mean, and we are smart. But while it seems like hopeless here in the United States, the rest of the world is moving forward with regulations. It's an alphabet soup of new regulations and net zero targets coming on. So like, for example, a good example is on July 2nd, the EU is going to announce new net zero targets. In 2045, Germany just put a net zero 2045 goal into their constitution that is going to be in 2045. By mid to the end of next decade, Europe alone will be demanding will need to supply 500 million carbon removal credits. As I said, last year less than 1 million were produced. So there's a huge gap between the actual demand that will be there and the supply. Japan's come on board. Australia, it's adding every day. Like I can't even keep up with it, how fast this is, the regulatory space is actually coming, including California. Hopefully 638 passes. So goal 300, about us. We have a lot of traction. So we have over 2,500 acres under agreement, and we already have active carbon removal sites. We are one of the few companies in the world that actually has that. A lot of people talk, but we do. And so we have active, so one of our partners I'll talk about is Organic Valley. So here's the Organic Valley and FAFO, who's a partner of us. And we have agreements with a number of quarries, including the only active olivine quarry. This is our first project last year that our team was on. Let's go to that. We learned a lot in that. Humans, we're always trying to make ourselves better. So this is what it looks like when you spread olivine on a field. And we had a lot of great learnings. And with science, we are always learning and making ourselves better, finding out what we didn't do and figuring it out. So our flagship removal project, there's me working, is on an Organic Valley regenerative farm up in Chehalis, Washington. And with this, we're looking to lower the costs of carbon removal by applying automated sensors and building out really advanced models that can lower the cost in the future as we scale. So this is the current pilot that's right there. We're having our olivine delivered on Tuesday, so this will be active next week. And we're looking to expand it locally. It's got really awesome hydrology and soil profile. It's insane. So our revenue forecast, this is pretty, I'd say that this is conservative. I have no doubt we can get to $10 million of EBITDA by 2030. There's major buyers lined up. Once we can prove that we do it and it's a repeatable, scalable process, we will get there. Our team is made up of world-leading experts. One of my partners, Mike, he's a great guy. He's led 2 tech companies to IPO, so he's our partner strategist. He's our partner lead. Christiana Jeetson, she flew over from Copenhagen a few weeks ago to work on our project, and she is one of the world-leading researchers on enhanced rock weathering and writing research papers. Everybody in the field knows her. We have a whole lab behind us who's working on this. And then Heather Langsner, have any of you ever seen those big fans in Iceland that take carbon out of the atmosphere? Well, Heather, she studied under Klaus Lochner, who was kind of the godfather of that technology. And so she's associated with our team. We also have Oregon State University Cascades. We got Scott Geddes in the chemistry department and Ron. And we're going to have undergrad students that are going to be coming and helping us out with our projects. And part of our project financing is going to be to hire a local researcher to help us out. Right now, we are raising money, and our money and what we're using it for, we're looking for impact investors who are willing to help us scale at a project level with some equity. And really what this is going to be used for, our pilot project, is to show that we can lower the costs of this process and we can make it repeatable so that we can scale to large buyers. Good example of large purchases that were made recently in the field is Aon. They got $33 million. Maddie Carbon, they just got $50 million. Another $50 million purchase from InPlanet and others in the space. So there is demand there. So once we prove that we can do it, the buyers will be there and we're going to line them up. If you're interested in finding out more about what we do, please give me a call. I'd love to talk to you afterwards. And also out there's these little baggies of dust. You can take them home, and if you have rhododendrons or coniferous trees, they'd really like that. It's a really great soil amendment.
Amazing. Yeah. This is incredible. Beautiful pitch. I'm just really impressed. So this is really incredible. And you really covered a lot very quickly. So I want to go back to the farmers. So you get an agreement with Organic Valley, for example. It's no cost to the farm? Or how does that work?
No. We do this free for farmers.
Yeah.
So we come in, and those who are like the farmer we're working with, he's great. He's been doing regenerative agriculture since 1947. So he's very climate forward. So he captures methane. And Organic Valley is great. They want to make carbon negative milk by 2035.
Wow.
So if you believe in climate solutions, give Organic Valley Dairy your financial support.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm like blown away by this. Okay, questions from the crowd. Yes, back here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a great question. He's wondering if there is like an opportunity for you to like improve soil quality and then just sell great soil.
Yeah, so actually, the farmers we work with, a lot of them don't even believe in climate change. And so at my last job, I worked all over Eastern Washington and Eastern Oregon, meeting with all sorts of different people. But what they do want is greater productivity and greater revenues out of the farms that they have. And so we help lower their costs and liming costs, and we get varied amounts of different productivity. So it's a win-win.
I mean,
you
it
don't have to
really-
believe in it.
That really, you're right. And I think that is just the reality. It's like, it doesn't really matter what you believe. Like that really
Yeah.
speaks for itself. That's incredible. Okay. Other questions? Yes, right here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Great question.
Well,
Great question. So he's wondering, like he said, you're testing the runoff and you're testing the water, and is there any like negative effects to wildlife, or is there any kind of other effects going on?
yeah, so we work in regulated environments like the Department of Ag. Our olivine actually there's a group called Oregon Tilth. It's organic certified to put on fields, and we are careful about our measurements. So before we even, so in order to actually produce a carbon credit that will get purchased, we have to show no harm. That is principle number one. We have to make it better and get communities involved. So we do our applications well under thresholds that would cause any biogenic uptake of any harmful materials. But then again, most of this is magnesium. It's 49.7% magnesium. So this is something that's in all this basalt around here.
So cool. I think there was, yes, right here. And so are you designing this to sell to companies like Microsoft and other? Yeah.
Yeah, and others around the world. So last year there were approximately 118 kind of large offtakes, and that number is growing every year. So we're making the credits available, and we will sell them at the best price that we can get with, and whoever we can get the largest pre-purchase agreement with. So a lot of the people in our field, they prove that they can mint the credits. And then they go in and they get a pre-purchase agreement, which is saying that I'll buy these in the future. So, yeah.
And so it doesn't, are there sites where it wouldn't be suitable to use this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in order for enhanced weathering to work, you have to have proximity to mineral feedstock, you have to have the right soil, and you have to have the right climate. So Western Washington and Oregon, we're the only operator of this type of technology on the West Coast. So the climatic conditions of the Willamette Valley and of Western Washington are ideal because we have over a meter of rainfall and we have really great soils. In fact, at today's rates, if we were to build out and do this on 40% of the farms in the Willamette Valley, it would have an annual value of over $1.2 billion.
It's so cool. And then I'm thinking like, so then whatever's grown in these soils is also going to improve. So we're going to get better yields. We're going to get more nutrient content for these foods. Like it's going to last longer when it's being transferred. I mean, this is
more money for rural communities.
You got me real excited, Zachary. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Please come back and let us know how it's going. And thank you. Thank you for creating this. Yeah, let's give Zachary a little more love. Why not? That was amazing.